Sometimes the pulse of a city is not found in what you see, but what you hear. Upon arriving our first night in Austin at a coffee shop, I heard music so definitive that I knew that the person behind their creation was my next story.
The violin, the way it feels freeing yet compact at the same time. I connect to the violin because it is synonymous to the human voice. It's the predominant voice of melody in classical music. I started my music journey in classical music since I was 5. The violin really lets me express, also in my own vocal range, high melodies and counter harmonies to go with it. I do think it's an extension of me. It's a form of expression that I can't convey in words. For the past few years, I started to hit a wall. I wanted to perform still, but I felt like in an orchestra aspect all these years, I felt myself straying away from that and composing in the real world versus in the orchestra niche. I decided to start listening to violin outside of contemporary sheet music, and I started listening to soundtracks, death metal, and shoegaze, and string-oriented metal bands, which it kind of brought out a whole new darkness and emotion from the violin that I was craving to hear. One day I started looking up violin loopers, a way to compose solely and show how you feel. And just the way composition can start off very simple in the beginning, and you can build this wall of sound. The wall of sound, it kind of brings me to this level of catharsis because it's very screeching and you're just getting to this climax. The violin is known to be very delicate and timid in sounding, but at the same time very shrieking and emotional. I want to strive to compose using different effects and delay to really bring out the tension that comes out in some of my compositions. It's kind of just like playing with colors, but like more intense colors, and I get to play with more intense colors. I wanted to write something more contemporary. So I've started a looping project called Violinda, and my first album really shows how I view the world, how I handle the situations I've been in. Playing around with something so old as a violin, with juxtaposing it with something so new with pedals and effects. If I get any point across through my music or what I'm doing in general, is to describe a new way of thinking what an instrument can and can't do. I feel like modern society shows that in order to be successful in anything you do, you have to kind of zero in down on a niche and get really good at this really small specialization. And I think that by taking the microscope and just zeroing in so close, you're kind of missing interdisciplinary things that could inspire you to make something very brand new that no one's ever done before. I kind of apply that philosophy to my life, being very knowledgeable in biochemistry and various sciences, as well as being very interested in music. And I think those two main themes in my life, they feed within each other. And if I, inspire anybody, is to inspire them to not stifle themselves to one thing, because there's so many things that can inspire you. There's so many things that can convey emotion and help others.
Not only is Violinda's story definitive and inspiring, but she was our gracious guide as we walked through the craziness that is Austin, Texas.